Hello and welcome to the second Wolfpack podcast. My name's Jordan.
I'm also Jordan.
And I'm Jordan too.
All right, we'll work on it.
I'm just kidding. It's still Bianca.
It's still Bianca.
It would be cooler if my name was Jordan, though.
We could just call this the Jordan cast.
That would be super confusing.
Yeah.
They won't know what Jordan's talking.
I'm sorry for the inconvenience, guys.
For the
I'm sorry, what did you say, Jordan?
What?
Both of you were like, what?
Huh?
Are you talking to me?
Changing my name tomorrow.
It'll be Jordan with a Y. I'll
Jordan.
change my name to be Jordan with an O, so I'll be Jordan.
Jordan.
I'm still gonna stick with the A.
And then you can stick with the A. You can be Jordan with an E, Jordan, or Jordan.
That's weird.
Or you can be with an I. Or you can be with a U, Jordan.
Jordan. I feel like it's I-Y. That's it. Or A. You only get those three choices.
I've met somebody with an O.
An O?
Mhm.
That's weird.
Yeah, he was weird. He took a lot of pictures like
Jordan
this.
with an O, if you're hearing this right now.
Do you guys remember, I think it was a Sprint commercial, and it was talking about the shared family plan, and there was like this goth guy who was like wearing like all black, like trench coat boots, and he's like, actually, it's Jordan. Because we're like, yeah, we're sharing it with like Lisa, like Brooke, Jordan. He's like, actually, it's Jordan.
Jordan. That would be awkward.
Fun fact, people, just look that up. Actually, it's Jordan.
What an O.
Guaranteed that. I'm gonna Google that right now and just tell you exactly what you have to look up.
These are like any commercial nowadays.
Sprint was so proud when they stole that guy from Verizon.
Yep, I remember that.
And they would have him in every commercial, and he was like,
Here it is.
guys, I used to like Verizon, but Sprint's where it's at.
Oh,
Guess who
it's
got
not.
paid more in Sprint?
It's not Jordan. It's Gordon. Play it.
You gonna play it?
Just shows up. It's pronounced Gordon.
Hey, let's go, honey. Those tacos ain't gonna eat themselves over there.
Tacos.
All right, by the way.
Start.
Yeah.
They're talking about Gordon, and he's a foot away from them.
Honestly, leave it to me. Just to like immediately perceive that it's Jordan and not like Gordon.
Jordan.
I've had people mispronounce think my name was Gordon. They would call me Gordy.
Gordy?
Yeah, when I was a freshman. Honestly, this is going so off topic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull it back. But anyways, I was gonna start off by saying how's everybody's days going?
Still going. I'm on duty, so it's Saturday. That's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, do you want to explain what you're a part of?
On campus I do MERT, which is Medical Emergency Response Team, and pretty much we respond to every medical emergency on campus.
24-hour shifts, people.
Yeah.
24 hours of hell.
Yeah.
And he's working on a Saturday.
Yeah.
At the time of this recording, at least.
He is a god.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Weekend shifts are lit. Not really. Wouldn't recommend it.
Lit for the people making the calls.
Lit for the people that's calling, but not lit for the people who are responding.
Not gonna lie, when you said you were going to do MERT, I was like, that sounds pretty cool. Like, I was like, I might want to do that. But oh boy, did I dodge a fucking bullet. An absolute bullet. But yeah, my day's going pretty well. It's cloudy as hell outside.
It is.
Yeah.
But honestly, loving the temperature.
Yeah.
Can actually go outside and not feel like I'm in Satan's asshole. And I say that like we live in New York.
Yeah.
Like our campus is in New York.
So you never know. You never know if it's gonna be sunny, if it's gonna be snowing,
That's
fucking
right.
thunderstorm. The weather said it was sunny, and I woke up and it was misty as hell. And I looked outside. My roommate and I were like,
I mean, yeah, like
one of these things just doesn't belong here.
we could be living in Arizona. Like, have you seen like those videos where they just like toss water up into the air in Arizona and just immediately evaporates?
I want to
Like,
bake cookies.
no.
It's insane. Like it hits the ground, just gone immediately. They're like, "How are you now?"
If anybody from Arizona is listening, confirm.
Honestly,
Question
yeah.
mark?
I love Arizona though. I went to Sedona. That's like my favorite vacation. Great place.
Never been. I've been to Colorado though.
I've had a good day.
But yeah.
I went berry picking today. It was very fun.
Oh,
Got blueberries and raspberries.
were they juicy?
Yes.
The juiciest of berries.
So good.
Honestly though, I'm missing some fruit right now because my diet is at an all-time low. and my intestines can agree.
I mean, aren't ours like all of ours because quarantine? You feel me? Like even during that time when nobody was doing anything, just eating.
Oh
Like,
no, actually, I was doing really well during quarantine.
really?
Not gonna lie, like my mom went into ultimate chef mode. Like Gordon Ramsay appeared in my kitchen and embodied like he possessed my mom.
What are you, an idiot sandwich?
Yeah, she told me to fuck off, fuck off, fuck off. No, not quite though. But honestly, my quarantine meals were not too bad.
It's good. I was eating out every day because I also had to work. So it
Hell
was just,
yeah!
you know,
Honestly,
racking up.
that's a mood though.
And now when you look back at your bank account, you're like, oh shit, why did I do this?
Honestly, I could go on
Where's
for
the
a whole.
money?
We could do a whole podcast on just like top tier restaurants and like foods. Like it would have to be chains though. That's the thing. It would have to be chain
Yeah.
restaurants.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, nobody freaking knows Mighty Taco. But
Oh yeah,
everyone should.
That's a Buffalo
Western
thing.
New York, baby. Western New York.
We don't even have that in New York City. Nobody talking.
Thomas from Illinois, look up Mighty Taco.
Thomas from Illinois.
Just do it.
Well, I mean, you know.
But let's get into the podcast.
All right, but yes, today's topic, we're gonna kind of be pulling things back a little bit and getting into kind of like a topic of controversy nowadays. But how the political dynamic is changing on the college campus. So I don't know about you guys, but as of recent, with everything happening, it just feels like society is really now more than ever demanding that you take a side on what you're doing. Because like, geez, for like the past 17 years of my life, I've been like a self-proclaimed dislike. Like I didn't like politics. I was just not wanting to be a part of it, not wanting any like to be involved. I was like, sure, like of course I was gonna vote. Like I hate people that don't vote. I'm like, like I just don't get that. I was like, sure, like you just might not care at all, but like come on, just like isn't it not like every citizen's duty to at least like look and be like, you know, like I agree with that. Just like at least make some choice. Cause I kind of realized that with myself. I was like, you are being so like selfish right now because you're not looking into anything. You're just sitting here basically obstinately thinking like, oh, I should be a part of things, but like I really don't feel like it. Like I
Yeah.
definitely like people got to get more into that online, but now more than ever, I feel like I've been really forced to get into things and finally registered. And I was like, hell yeah.
Good for you.
Yay.
I think it is important for people, especially our age, trying to get people to vote and actually start going into politics because Generation Z or Generation Alpha at some point will listen to this. You know, of us being in the system now, like judicial and figuring things out. And before you know it, we're gonna have our own president from like our generation, and we just gotta like, I guess now inform us of where do we want things to go. You know.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, here's kind of like an off-track question, but do you guys remember like the Bush presidency at all from when you were younger?
No.
I like remember seeing him in magazines.
I do not like
my
remember
parents talking
anything
about it.
about him. Like Obama was like the first real president that like stuck with me, and I was like, this guy's pretty cool.
Right, yeah.
I was like, this guy's a G. And then like Trump got elected. I was like, okay, like this is something different. Like definitely like totally different dynamic. I'm not gonna deny that both like Obama and Trump have their strengths and weaknesses, but like it's just all over the place nowadays. I don't know. Maybe I'm just noticing it now more that like I'm older,
Yeah.
but crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of surreal to think that our president literally communicates his like presidential thoughts and ideas through Twitter. Like, shouldn't he be doing
Yeah.
that with like his
Like a press or
his
something.
cabinet or you know the people that
I don't know.
actually
That
make
was
the
I thought that was
laws?
really whack because I was just like, is that allowed?
Right.
Because I remember I was like, okay, so he's like tweeting to like market his campaign. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Like honestly, whatever. At the end of the day, though, like he's doing stuff. Like I cannot deny that like the economics of what he does is pretty good. Like I'm not Republican. Not like I line myself as being more democratic and like liberal than conservative, but like I'm pretty tight in the middle in terms of just like understanding both sides and really like hearing both sides' arguments because not gonna lie, like I don't know if maybe I'm just really easily influenced, but like I hear people's arguments, I'm like that sounds pretty good to me. Like maybe I'm just a sheep for that, and I'm not like, oh, I'm not like a based red pilled. But like that's just me. I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. I'm opinionated, but I feel like I go so back and forth on different sides
Yeah.
that I can't say that like I'm one or the other. I didn't want to register as independent though, because I don't know. I just thought it was more important that like you choose one or the other.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to Jordan a lot. Like in the past, I've definitely been politically neutral. I haven't really felt the need to speak up or talk about politics at all. It just kind of didn't interest me. But this year, more than ever, with so many things happening at once, I kind of realized my privilege in the world and
Oh
realized,
my
oh,
gosh, yes. I
like, wow.
honestly, I used to be so like I was like, I'm probably like I'm kind of privileged, but like I've had hardships too. But I'm like
white, you have to have a political stance. You are forced to speak up.
100%. That's what I really came to learn. Because I was like, oh my gosh.
Right. Like we have the privilege of being able to just sit back and kind of say, "Oh, I don't want to talk about it. I don't have to." But then suddenly I was like, "Wow, I would be doing an injustice if I didn't speak up right now about anything going on."
100%.
Like especially the biggest thing right now, Black Lives Matter. I
Mhm.
mean, that I have a lot of friends that are people of color, and it's important to show them that you support their lives and support equality. It's just frustrating to see people that are just willing to sit by and let it happen and not even act like it's a real issue and that things can go back to normal, quote unquote, but it's not going to be normal until it's right.
Absolutely brutal. Like it's nuts out there. And like that's coming from a guy that like has several state troopers in his family. I'm like, what is going on out there? Like I was like, oh my God. Because you can't deny that. You can't just be like, so like I'm not like one of those people that like I guess I do agree. I'm like, sure, like there's good cops and bad cops, but like I don't say it like that. I say it as in like there's good people and bad people, period.
Yeah, for sure.
And like to say that like blacks and just like people of color are not being oppressed is ignorant.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ignorant because you're looking at there's more and more stories every single day of just like videos appearing and people being like, what the hell is going on? Like this is really like a trend.
Yeah.
Like I just saw a story that someone else died. And I was like, oh my God. Like that would not stand because like the biggest thing was like really talking to other people and like the understanding, like, because like a simple pullover, like I would think absolutely nothing of that. I'd be like, oh great, I'm gonna get a ticket. Like my mom is gonna be pissed.
Right,
Like,
right.
meanwhile, they're like, oh my God, like please don't get like angry. Like I really hope that this cop doesn't like take advantage of me.
Right.
Like, oh my goodness, scary stuff.
Yeah.
He said, "Yep."
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but I also think there's like two sides to everything. So,
Mhm.
like, obviously, videos aren't right, but at the same time, we also don't know what happened. And
I-
especially with the newest
yeah.
video with, them using a spit bag and him dying, like, that's really bad, really horrible. And, like, God rest his soul, but we don't really know what happened in the beginning.
That is so true.
And I feel like with the whole BLM thing, I agree with it. I think there should be some type of training, something, to help move forward. But I mean, targeting every single cop that wears a badge, I think that's wrong.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I gotta agree with that, obviously.
Yeah, it's a lot of people, like you said, targeting the individuals. And I think the problem with that is that the problem is not the people, the problem is the system. Like the system is corrupt. The system does not put diversity policies well into place, does not train cops to believe that they also have to follow these laws and will receive consequences if they
Mhm.
don't. There's not enough training for them in that aspect. And that's why these things are happening now, especially related to diversity. And I just think it's important that the system needs to change so that people that are cops can not be so disrespected. Like I understand people's anger and it's completely warranted, but it's just hard to separate the system from the people, I think, in a lot of people's eyes. And
For sure.
those are the arguments and tensions that are happening, and people aren't willing to not be radical on one side or the other. And going back to your point of being able to see both sides, it's important sometimes to be in the middle so you can understand both sides, even if you don't agree with one.
No. Sometimes I wonder if I like should have gone to law school and like just became a judge, because I would be like, I would be such a good judge, because I'd be like, listen, like this guy's got a point.
Can you see, Judge? Absolutely. My client here is innocent. All right.
Not like just like some really good lawyer just feeds me an amazing argument. And I'm like, I can't deny, like he clearly is not. He's clearly not guilty of murder. Like,
And the other lawyer is like, what? And you're like, you better step up your game.
like,
You better have some concrete stuff here, man.
you better step up your game, or this guy's gonna go free. Oh my lord.
Yeah, I think it's definitely important that, like, even in small towns, I feel like a lot of cops are being targeted, even if, you know, they haven't even done nothing. Because in a lot of small towns, you most likely 99.5% of the time, you're gonna know who that is. You know,
100, like easily. Like sometimes it's a household name. You're like, oh yeah, like Sheriff so and so,
Right.
Sheriff Woody.
Sheriff Woody, my boy. If you're listening, Sheriff Woody, tell Buzz I said hi.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just important that, like, people understand that, you know, the same way that there's bad people, there's also good people, and those good people can be behind badges. So I think, you know, people shouldn't just be focused on, oh, he did this, this, and this. That's wrong. He should go to jail. He should get the death penalty, X, Y, and Z. You know,
That's brutal, because like that's the thing. I will never. So when you argue that you want them to have the death penalty, I gotta agree, like that's not justice in a sense, because I think it's a much greater punishment to have them go sit in a jail cell for like the rest of their life. If they're really guilty of it, life in prison is 10 times worse than just getting that release of just being like, boom, done with it. Like, it's so much easier. It's like it's almost too easy. Like, I know I'm about to go like on my Batman mindset right now, like, do not kill. But like,
yeah, in the last podcast, he was like, "Yeah, I got 3 bodies, bro."
I'm all over the place. What am I gonna say? I'm on, but like seriously though, I'm on. There's just got to be more non-lethal methods. Like, I think defund the police, like, that has a pretty like valid point when they're looking at it in the correct way, because I think the original idea for defund the police was correct, but kind of changed into something else. So like the way people think that's going to be now is like defund the police, we're going to abolish the police force. Like, it's not even necessary, because everybody is so functional in this society. No, there's criminals. There's a lot of people that are going to be like, hell yeah, the police are gone, I'm going to go nuts. Like, I'm going to go like steal a car. Like, it's going to be Grand Theft Auto in real life. I'm on. Like, that's not going to happen. The original idea for defund the police was like, take away the funding and divide it up between more like different groups. So police are in charge of like their section, and then domestic abuses are like for their section.
So
and
like
just
bureaus.
like,
Yeah.
it's like different sections, and then the police aren't like overwhelmed, and they hopefully don't have to get put in these situations where they're like, they're getting screwed over in the end. Sometimes it's all over the place.
Yeah. It's hard to talk about both sides in one conversation with,
It's true.
like, truly there's just 3 of us sitting here just trying to put these ideas out, and it's really difficult to understand every single side. So it's important to educate yourself as much as possible. Like I said, we're just 3 people. Please go do your own research, but
Yeah,
like,
definitely try to have your own opinion on things. You know.
yeah, but take people's thoughts into consideration, even if you think you're the only person that can be right. Like, just try to listen. It's important.
Yeah, I mean, especially like, you know, we're still very young, and even for us to be having this conversation, I think is very adult-like, in a sense of us like trying to view everybody's point, trying to like acknowledge it, and then be like, yes, I understand, I agree, but X, Y, and Z. You know. So I think even us just sitting here and having this conversation is absolutely amazing, because there's some people who are our age who just have like tunnel vision. It's like, no, this is the way it needs to be. This is the way things are going to be. And if it doesn't change, I'm going to do something bad about it. Like,
there's just some brutal stuff being said in like those comment sections. And I just like, never fails to amaze me just how cruel people can be.
Right.
Because like at the end of the day, like honestly, I've had like everybody has like those thoughts where you're just like, oh my god, like this person is just the worst. But like, do I go out onto social media, make some page, and just like blast them
Right.
and like follow everybody on campus and just blast them, like,
Yeah. It's
and for everyone to see, like that is just some top tier. What is the word for it?
bullshit.
Bullshit. Exactly.
Yeah. Like
Bianca coming on the sidelines, just bullshit. Yo. It's just, I'm fed up with it. It's just
I'm
bullshit.
like, I do consider myself to be a Democrat, liberal, but I can imagine that it's pretty hard to be a Republican right now. Like I can imagine that it's very difficult. So
Your representation is at like an all-time low.
right, like
Because like
just because somebody you know is a Republican doesn't mean you can't talk to them about politics. Like it doesn't just mean they
Oh, for
automatically
sure.
support Trump. It doesn't mean that. You should have that conversation with them and get to know their beliefs and understand why they're supporting that side. And as Jordan was saying, to have an account just calling these people out is really difficult. Like I can imagine that that was really hurtful to have somebody want to do that and
yeah.
just kind of be called out for being a bad person. Like you shouldn't have to be thought of that way for literally having an opinion, a belief system.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to have as a human being.
Yeah, it definitely is wrong. And I mean, like most people on this campus, like when, like us, for example, we all listen and then like we take it in and then we're like, okay, I agree, but I don't agree. But this is why I don't agree. And then like you try to explain it to the other person, you're like, oh no, go fuck yourself. Like I don't want to hear anything you have to say to me.
Like I never get that. Like I understand getting kind of heated sometimes, but even I like when I'm having like an educated argument, like you pull it back. Like
Right.
even if you're getting pissed, you pull it back. Like come
Exactly.
on.
Yeah.
Like not gonna lie, like I know we're getting like extremely jaded like, as we get like older, but like we are like we're adults now. Like things are getting really serious, and like that kind of stuff is like beginnings of adult conversation. Like please just like actually listen to the person for Christ's sakes.
Right.
Like everybody is just so hell bent on their idea is right and cannot be told wrong. Like anything you say is just wrong.
Yeah.
Do not try to talk to me. You are wrong. I like one of these days, like if someone just comes at me for something, I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, you are so right. Like you are so right.
Don't even argue with them. But like,
It's like I think you have changed my entire outlook on life, and I am a hard supporter of your cause. Like hell yeah, the Earth is indeed flat. You have convinced me.
Just confuse the hell out of them.
just agree with everything I say. What?
Well,
Yup,
then they would
yup.
they'd be pissed, and then like they're like, are you mocking me?
Yeah,
Yes, I am mocking you.
It's tough, but you know,
that
it's-
conversation is
it's
just
the most important thing is to just have a conversation with somebody. Don't just walk away from something because one, you just think you're right and everybody else is wrong, or two, you feel that the conversation is too hard and you feel like you're afraid that that person actually might make valid points and convince you, because guess what? You should be open to having more opinions and more thoughts and beliefs and not being 100% on one side of something.
yeah.
It's okay to be 95% and then 5% on the other side. Like
100%.
it's okay. You
Yeah.
don't have to be scared, guys. It's the least of your worries.
At least this week, whenever this podcast comes out, probably sometime in September, just go out and have a conversation with somebody and try and see the world from their eyes or understand where they're coming from.
Yeah.
And make a new friend. We definitely need that right now, especially with this pandemic.
Yeah, it's actually interesting that we're talking about this because my best friend, she has a TikTok and she came out with one recently that was like questions for conservatives or Republicans or both, and asking people to duet her TikTok and answer those questions for her because she was genuinely curious and interested in their thoughts.
She got so many hate messages, didn't she?
I don't even know, but
Oh my lord,
a
she's
lot
gonna
of-
get on people
well,
on the internet.
it became really popular. Like I don't know how many views it got, but I think she got like 30K likes or something.
Oh boy.
So-
yeah, she is going to be in some trouble.
Like I was looking through the responses and it seemed like some people were definitely more open, but it was pretty cool. So I definitely think it's good to have those conversations and be open to getting educated.
Yeah.
But yeah, to be honest, like it's not even just like the like bipartisan kind of like way that we are living right now. Like, and then like you have the discrimination against race, but like then you have the whole other side. You have LGBTQ plus. I think it just got updated, and I feel so bad because like they just updated it to be something else. I think they have even more letters on it now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
There's like, I just did the training for this. I feel so horrible.
Mm.
Are you looking it up?
Yeah, I'm gonna see.
All right, but like, yeah, just LGBTQ plus. On religion, like, highly forgotten. like, there's still people that are like spraying swastikas on like Jewish buildings. Like, holy shit!
Right.
What are you doing? Like, what did they do to you?
Yeah, it's truly just a disappointment. Did you find anything?
Yeah, so the new one is LGBTQIA+.
Oh, yes, I knew that. It's people usually do the less letters, but LGBTQIA.
Mm-hmm.
The I stands for intersex.
To be honest, like
And the A stands for
that
ally,
whole
or
organization, like, and grouping of people, they're spitting facts sometimes. Like of course, like with every group, there's going to be like the ones that are just gonna be blatantly disrespectful to just everyone else. But like for the most part, like they're spitting facts,
Yeah.
and like they're not afraid to just say things like how it is. They're just gonna tell you how it is.
Yeah.
But
yeah, sometimes it's tough to be a member of the community. Like
Mhm.
for me personally, it's not like I am straight passing 100%. Like people look at me and are just like, "Yep, she's only into dudes," and that's cool. But
exactly, like it's not like I've never been pressured by anyone.
right, but like I'm pretty open with my sexuality. Like most people would consider it pansexual, but I kind of just like to go with the flow, and if I'm attracted to somebody, then something I can really do to stop that. That's just how I'm gonna feel. But I have the privilege of walking down the sidewalk and just somebody assuming, yeah, she's heterosexual, and I've never had to really deal with any kind of discrimination in that aspect. But I know it's hard for a lot of people, and like my younger sibling who's actually going through a transition right now, I know it's hard for them every day, but I think it's just important to respect people's decisions and their own journeys and their discoveries about themselves. And yeah, just be respectful of people, even if you don't understand it. You don't have to ask questions. You don't have to know what it means. You don't even have to like it, but just be respectful. Like that's all you can really ask for, because I can guarantee that people of the community are respectful to you.
Just trying to be like respectful to everyone, to be honest. Like just trying to be like cognizant of just other people's opinions and like how they're feeling. Like honestly, at the end of the day, you're not even required to understand it. Just try to be conscious that they're a person.
Right.
Because people forget that. It's just like if they tell you their pronouns are like his, her, or his, him, theirs, like I'm sorry, but
yeah,
you gotta just respect that. And that's the way that you should address them and try and make an effort. It's just like when the way I always think of it is if like you tell someone your name, right? Like second time, if they don't remember your name, it's like it's fine. Like, or if they missay your name, it's fine. But if they consistently just like butcher your name and just do not care, like you get offended. Anybody would get offended by it. They'd be like, okay, this person, like this bitch, like
right, exactly.
Oh,
it's time to throw some hands at this point.
It is time to throw some hands.
Oh, RIP to those on headphones.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally agree that like you don't even have to like it, just accept it, and if you're really friends with that person, like support them, you know, even if they don't even know what they are yet, just like support them and guide them as best as you can, you know.
Yeah.
Or just sit there while they like look it up on the internet, because I feel like that's what a lot of people do these days.
Yeah. And I think what can help friendships go a long way too is that if you and a friend do happen to have really differing beliefs, whether it be in politics, whether it be your identity and the person you're friends with doesn't necessarily agree with that, religion, anything of that aspect. Okay. sorry, lost my train of thought for a second. But my point is, if you have those differing aspects in your friendship, sometimes it's okay to just say, let's not talk about it.
Yeah.
If it's really important to you, then you can go a different route. But I know for my mom, she has a friend who's very conservative, very Republican, and my mom is very liberal, very Democratic. They just choose not to even talk about politics because they know.
To be fair, like that's what I like. Family gatherings. Oh boy, do not even don't talk about it.
The Thanksgiving table, though.
Oh
My running joke is that like the way to ignite an argument is just like go up to my uncle and just mention that you think that gun control should be more restrictive. Oh boy, you are asking for a world of hurt if you do that.
Yeah, it's
The freaking boomers, man, they're coming for you.
every family gathering, my uncle will just say something along the lines of, "Yeah, aren't there like 31 genders?" And I'm like, "Okay, that's cool. It's fine. We're not talking about this. We're just gonna move on."
Again, that comes with being open and, not really. You could try and understand it, but at the end of the day, like, just be supportive, even with family, especially with family. Family is really important, but just because they're your family doesn't mean you can't cut them off. Point blank period.
You speak from experience.
I do speak from experience.
Jordan is
That's my
Honestly, I feel that though. Cut toxic people out of your life.
facts.
Get that out
100%.
of here.
They're not contributing to your future and your
Yes.
success. Bye bye.
Do not deal with the drama. Do not deal with the problematic people.
Unless you're bored, then just like add some drama, I guess.
But like with all that being said, I feel like all these groups that we've talked about are almost always going to tilt to being liberal. So I've always wondered. I really wonder what our political dynamic is going to look like in the future, because like at this point we have such like a liberal culture. Like at some point it's just going to be like I feel like conservative is going to be the minority. I'm calling it. It just seems like right now, like most of America is just seeing this stuff and is like becoming more and more liberal.
Right, yeah. Now that I think about it,
It's going to be interesting.
like Gen Z, we're all becoming adults, and like you said, a lot of
I
us
know. Oh
are
my
more
God.
progressive.
What did you say the next generation is called?
Generation Alpha.
That sounds so much cooler than
It
Gen Z.
does. I agree.
That
Sounds like the name of a movie or something.
I mean, but then again, I feel like our parents have like the Gen X. I think that sounds way cooler, but like Generation Alpha, like
Yeah.
Gen Z.
I know, just
They just skipped Y. They said no Gen Y.
Well, I
Well,
guess
technically Gen
Y
Ys are
is
millennials,
millennials.
aren't you?
yeah, but they have a cool name. We didn't get anything.
am I right?
We got Gen Z. Wow.
So cool in the
It
last
was so
literally
funny because I
couple
remember when I was
minutes.
younger, I thought that we were millennials, but we're not.
Yeah.
My brother's a millennial, but I am not.
We're just Gen Z.
We are Gen Z.
That's it. I think Generation Alpha is 2010. I could be wrong though. So I think they just started.
Oh yeah, so that definitely just started.
Yeah. Which is interesting to think about, of like how
Oh yeah, they're
we're
just
moving
the
on.
Generational like
technology
scale is so
generation.
weird because like the baby boomers like take up like a huge portion of like I'm pretty sure there's like a 50 to 60 year like increment of just baby boomers. They're like, these are the baby boomers. The next increment, this is Gen X. Like the next increment, like tiny little increment, millennials, and then immediately after Gen Z. And now we have Gen freaking Alpha.
Yeah, Gen Alpha is the end of 2010.
Damn, I'm like only 19. I feel like I'm old.
Yeah,
We're like actually moving up in the world right now.
we are slowly but surely, which is sad because
Yeah.
we're just getting old.
Mind's freaking blown.
Oh.
Meanwhile, like my mom is just like offended. She's like, "You are not even old. These are the glory years, Jordan. Don't live them up."
Like, didn't you have to walk through the valley of the shadow of death when you were trying to go to school?
That's not
Oh
even
my
my mom. That's my
God.
grandpa.
Oh, you're like, you have it so easy, and
The valley and the shadow of death.
I just think it's funny when like women who are like usually in Gen X, they're just like, oh, no, my age, no, 22. Like, I will be like, I am 54 and I do look like this. Yes,
Hell
please
yeah.
and thank you. No,
Honestly,
my
I'll
age.
Be like has become a cougar. So you guys are set up.
I'm feeling pretty
Stacey's
confident that I'm
mom.
gonna be. I'm pretty confident that I'm gonna be a DILF when I get older.
Dilf.
George is just bragging over here.
Absolute DILF. I'm ready for it.
It's gonna be Matthew Robo. If he ever shows up on his podcast,
Yeah, he is in a car.
supposedly traveling right now.
Yes.
Back to campus.
We called him before this and he forgot that this
If
was
you guys ever
happening.
watch Howard Stern, like take literally any one of his workers and you can compare them to Matt. Like just like I feel like that's essentially what's gonna be. He's just gonna be like the talking point. We're just like, oh Matt, here we go again. Literally, we could just have Matt talk about his love life as a whole podcast.
Oh
on
my
here.
God.
We're not even gonna get into that because it's gonna be like over an hour long. It's not.
That would be a 2-hour podcast. And just like
It would probably be entertaining though. Not gonna lie.
You'd be like, you
10
feel
out of
me?
10, if you want
You
that,
feel me?
comment on this video, ask for it.
Yeah. Also, we have an Instagram, y'all.
Yeah.
We
Already.
do. It's Wolfpack Podcast 23. So make sure to like and
There was already 22 other
Follow.
Wolfpack podcasts, so we had to be the 23rd one.
Yeah, that's why it's 23.
Maybe one day when we get verified, we can get her. Assuming that we get verified.
Is it 23 because that's when we graduate?
yes.
Oh.
I
Jordan's
just
mind
realized it,
splattered.
and Jordan just like we couldn't even get the real
Whoa.
name.
I couldn't even get the real name.
Yeah.
No, I did get it, but I just wanted to make a joke.
Haha.
Also, I realized now that it is really confusing when I refer to one Jordan and immediately to the next Jordan.
No, it's like it's funny though because I feel like at some point we just got it from like tone of voice. They'd be like Jordan, like it's like the slightest different change, and like we understand it though because like you direct it towards us.
right.
It's like so if I hear it like directed more towards me, it also requires me to be more engaged in the conversation, which is not a bad thing per se.
Right.
Like I should be more engaged in the conversation as it is. But like just eye contact. That's how you know.
Yeah.
As we sit around this table.
And most of it, like it's actually pretty easy for me and you to talk to each other because
Yeah.
we always know that we're the other Jordan. Like,
Exactly. Unless we're not the other Jordan.
and to be honest, like nowadays, like I feel like we don't even refer to each other by our names much. We're just like, hey you.
Hey.
I
Hey,
just refer
bud.
to like every guy in our
Hey,
group.
dude.
What's up, sexy?
Oh yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
And ladies, I just call them by their name because like I don't want to get hit. You feel
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
Gonna get the schmack.
The smack.
What time are we at right now?
We are 18 minutes to an hour long.
All right, cool. So we still have stuff to talk about. So just kind of getting more into things. So with all like these themes being said, how can we kind of like change the system to be like less bipartisan and just more just like
Unison.
open? Yeah. Well, like the example that they always say is like George Washington literally like brought this up forever ago when like he was becoming president. He was just like, do not let the system get like this. If you have a two-party system, things are gonna go like to shit real fast. Like everybody should like it shouldn't be one side versus the other. Oh, what is the exact quote? I almost want to pull up the exact quote of what he said.
Yeah.
Just him talking about the
Go watch Hamilton.
yeah, I'm gonna literally does he everybody download Disney Plus, sponsored by Disney Plus.
I think Disney Plus actually gives you a month free, if I'm not mistaken, for watching Hamilton.
Bipartisan.
Or something like that. Something of that sort.
But kind of going off of what Jordan was just saying, I mean, now that I think about it, we're literally built on this idea of fighting each other
Yes.
to choose our leader. And that should not be the case at all, because the point of having a leader is that we're all on the same side and we all have the same ideas. But apparently, that's not how we wanted it.
That's not how it be, yo.
Sure.
Did you find it?
Yeah, I'm kind of like looking at it. It's like nothing specific. I'm sure they're like you can really find the quote if you were like trying to zoom in on it. I think the quote that I have here was from Washington was, "I was no party man myself."
Mm.
And that was the Thomas Jefferson, who was like a notorious, I think he was Republican.
Mm.
Watch Hamilton. Gotta watch Hamilton again.
Hamilton's
Honestly,
good.
that's how you got your 1776 history.
Until
Mhm.
King George spits in your face of that recital.
Okay, King George is like the funniest guy in that entire musical.
I love the Reynolds pamphlet when he's just dancing in the corner, just like
What?
he just shows up for no reason. Like after he's done singing his song, he sits in the corner of the stage and waits for the Reynolds pamphlet to happen. It's
I
incredible.
love it.
Favorite part is
Incredible.
like when he just turns around, the camera just zooms in, and he's just like spitting at the audience. Oh man, those
Oh,
TikToks
yes.
are amazing. Or like when he's like, "I'm so blue," and then like he stomps the floor and the light turns blue. That shit was bomb.
To be honest, like he was a really shitty king, but like he understood. He was like, like I don't think he expected America to go nearly as far as it did.
Mhm.
No.
But he was. I think we definitely handled the problems a lot quicker, and we are accelerating. Like we forget that. Like, how old is our country now? Like, we're not even like some countries have been around for forever.
Yeah, and we're just
How
like,
old
freaking-
is our
Shout out to
country?
Jonathan Groff for his performance in Hamilton. It's pretty cool.
Yes, 243 years old.
Damn.
Like,
the white man blinking gif.
yeah. Oh yeah, that guy. I wonder what the oldest country is that's like still functioning. Oldest
It's a great
functioning
question.
country. I just want to put things into
somewhere in
perspective.
Asia, probably, or like Europe.
Oh my god.
I'm guessing he found something?
Mesopotamia was the first.
It's like
but-
yeah, like but obviously it's not functioning
it's
now.
not
That just
functioning
got
no more.
destroyed pretty early on. Honestly, that ancient history was rough. Like those guys, like they were fighting. Well, apparently, so I just googled it, and the first one apparently, is the Republic of San Marino. I've never heard of that, but apparently, it's a tiny country that's completely landlocked by Italy, and was founded on September 3rd in the year 301 BCE.
Damn.
BCE,
Hey,
like
good
holy
for San
shit,
Marino. Good for you guys.
thousand like that. That's like, is that 1,000
Dude,
longer?
probably longer.
Math. This is why we're in broadcasting, people. This is why we're journalists.
Not mathematicians.
We gotta call on the expert to come.
Where's if Matthew Roman was here?
We gotta get Garrett to come in here. He's
Oh,
nice. He's
yeah,
nice.
that's true. We should get Garrett.
Garrett would be good for a podcast.
Well, yeah. Oh my gosh.
His
we,
voice is smooth.
we could
y'all.
have so many guest stars. We have a lot to work with here. This podcast is gonna be a riot, so I recommend you guys stick around.
It's gonna be fun. I can say that much.
Yeah, I promise that we'll have some mostly entertaining ones, some mostly serious. Like today was pretty serious, I feel like, but
Yeah, for the most part.
obviously we go off on our own little conversations and tangents, so you can expect to have those brief moments where you can just kind of chill and listen.
Honestly, having that was probably the most serious conversation we've had in like a while.
Yeah.
Like besides honestly the funny thing is the only second thing that's more serious is just us talking about Matt's relationship status.
Honestly,
We are not gonna get into that conversation.
I
Oh,
wish I
goodness.
was joking
We
when
are-
Jordan says that, but
Oh my goodness.
We're right.
But yeah, pulling it back, so Washington warned us. We kind of were there. But this country has only been here for 243 years. Like, we're accelerating like fast. I cannot believe we've come as far as we did.
Yeah.
And the little time that we've had, geez, how many wars have we been in already? Like that's kind of embarrassing to be honest when you think about it.
yeah. I don't even want to
Revolutionary.
look that up.
Civil, World War I, World War II, Vietnam,
Almost World War III.
almost World War III, Cold War, Korean War.
Great Depression. That
Great
wasn't a war. It was just
What?
depressing.
The Great Depression.
It was a war within themselves.
In a way it was. That was the war in the economic system, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, for real.
From the American Revolution to the Iraq War, the U.S. has fought in 12 major wars, and that's just major. That's just major ones.
Wow.
There's probably smaller ones.
That are like petty. Like, yeah,
That's a lot.
We've had a lot of little petty
Like-
arguments with nations, let's be honest
like-
here.
it's true.
12 might seem like a small number, but when we're talking about wars, 12 is a big number
So I
because
think,
those
the,
last.
I think the main theme of this conversation is that like the U.S. as a whole needs to fix its shit.
We problematic.
Fix your shit, America.
Fix your shit.
Fix
America.
it.
Quote Jordan.
Not this Jordan, the other Jordan.
Nope, just put quote Jordan. Just like when like just dash Jordan. at the end.
Anyone named
It could
Jordan.
be it could be anyone.
Yeah, just someone named Jordan. I
Ian.
do think that way.
I'm sure it'd be pretty, to be honest, I'm pretty sure it'd be easy to find me. You can come follow me on the Instagram page. All you have to do is just click on the following.
It's also in our YouTube in the bottom and podcast.
Yes.
So
So
you can find all of us pretty
Yep.
easily.
Hashtag networking.
Also, if you do see my Instagram, just a heads up, my last name is not pronounced the dumb way. And you'll understand when you read it.
So why don't you tell them the correct way so they know how to pronounce it?
No.
It's not baloney.
Thanks, Jordan.
No problem.
It is not the mystery meat that is often handed out at events.
Yeah, no mystery meat here.
But, yeah.
Well, thanks guys. It's been fun.
Yeah, thanks for the topic, Jordan.
Oh yeah,
Good
great.
job, Jordan.
Good stuff. Well, I'll definitely have to I want to do a more fun topic because this one
Wow.
was definitely, I think it was a necessary conversation to have, but
Yeah.
definitely the state of our
For
world
sure.
definitely puts a damper on your day.
Yeah.
Well, next week we will have Bianca's conversation, whichever that may be. So make sure to tune back, and we'll see you next time.
Once again, welcome to the Wolfpack podcast. Branding. Still
Marketing.
looking for the Oh Absolutely shirts. Comment down below. if
Bye,
you need
guys. I have a call.
Hey.
They'll end it.
it. Alrighty. Have a good one, guys. See
See
you
ya.
next time.
From